Welcome everybody to the finale here of Week 6 of SKL. My name's Kevin Big Booty Bodie. With me tonight, I've got Carter Silky Mittens Asselford.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And Peter Crafty Buckeye McKay.
Yo, yo, yo.
I got a couple of friends here tonight. No more solo casting for me. For our first game, both games tonight, it's same teams. But for the sides tonight, starting on the blue side, we have Notice Me Senpaiii, and on the red side, we have Indecision. Now, as you're just seeing, Notice Me Senpaiii will forfeit their first ban due to not checking in on time, so that is why that happened.
Yeah, just a little bit of formality there.
Yeah.
Those guys a little bit late, but that's okay. It should be a really good match tonight between these two teams. These are kind of two teams fighting for that second place spot in the league, I believe. If there is a tie tonight, there will be a three-way tie between three teams. It'll be Thunder Ducks, Indecision, and Notice Me Senpaiii, I believe, tied for second place with Vicious and Delicious in first, I believe, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Something close to that. They're all right around the top, and this sweep here could really set you apart going into the end of the season.
But, a tie would definitely make things interesting, and I do always love myself a good three-way. So I guess we'll see what happens after these two games. But we've got some bans coming out here. We see some bans coming in from Indecision, both target bans. Thresh, targeted towards Impreza Boy on support. He's proved time and time again in SKL that he's just a monster on that champion. And then Evelyn as well, targeted at Henry, one of his most played champions as well.
Absolutely. Last week was actually the first time we've ever seen Thresh being left up and not taken by Impreza Boy. And it honestly kind of didn't really matter. Impreza Boy didn't look as comfortable on the support, but he was at least capable at playing other champions other than Thresh. But his definite best champion is Thresh, so no surprises there. Being on the red side, the last ban for Indecision, of course, is going to be Mordekaiser. That's just standard. You don't want to give that first pick Mordekaiser to the other team. It's just too OP right now.
What do you
strong.
prioritize with the first pick, though, now?
The first pick, it really, he's going to have to ban first here. Oh, actually, he's right. They forfeited the first.
Yeah.
Graves, this is...
Interesting.
I am
priority on the Graves.
So baffled, but there is no priority on Graves right now.
Well, it is interesting that they chose that for no priority, even though there is no priority. But worth noting here that we have had a bit of a position swap here for Notice Me Senpaiii. Team Maya 70, who usually plays ADC, is moving up to the top lane, and our boy BBBBBBB is moving to the ADC position. So maybe they just really, really, really wanted that for BBBBB at ADC, but
this is a really, really interesting swap because Team Maya, they looked really good in both of those roles. They weren't the weak spots of their team by any means.
Not at all.
They're everyone on this team is really strong, so it's surprising that they decide to switch things up.
And then they give up Lulu and Elise for it.
First rotation for a Graves. That's what I'm talking about. Graves is not a contested ADC pick. You could have left that to see what the other team picks. I don't know why you want it.
Maybe they just didn't want to show their hand. You could.
And the rest of this team, I guess.
I guess you could have picked like a Braum, I guess, or something. Or you. I don't. It's baffling me. I don't understand, but.
But now, so the thing that Graves struggles at is taking down tanks. So now, do you think that Indecision will realize this and go towards a more tanky composition, or do you think that's just one piece of the puzzle they don't really want to build just against BBBB's ADC Graves, and that's like his first time playing ADC? So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to go tank, and that's really what Graves struggles against. So it's a fine ADC, but it's just baffling that it was the first pick, and now the Hecarim and the Greg is locked in. That's going to be a top lane Hecarim, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it theoretically could also be top lane Gragas Hecarim jungle. That wouldn't be. We don't want to completely rule it out, but you're right. It most likely is Gragas jungle and top lane Hecarim.
Yeah, top lane Hecarim, but I'm not really sure where this Lulu could be going. It could go 3 lanes at this point, and they're just not really trying to show their hand.
Yeah, absolutely. They can leave it to the last pick.
Guess now they're not going to put it support, but top mid.
Top mid.
It's not locked in yet.
Yeah, true.
True, also not locked in, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm Big Tough Guy playing a lot of Callista and Braum just being an OP support still. Yeah. This guy will never go away. The utility he adds is just too much. The Nocturne being hovered over now.
The Draven.
Dizanator must be watching.
Yeah, he's somewhere. Dizanator is watching, and he's rolling around as they hover Draven. But they do finally lock in the Braum. It's support for Weeblit. Like you guys are saying, still a very OP support. Probably, you could say the number 1 support. Leaving that Lulu still flexed, still could go top or mid.
So far, looking at the first 3 picks from this Notice Me Senpaiii squad, it is such a hard engage composition. And honestly, if they followed it up with the Nautilus and Yasuo, that would not be surprising at all. These guys love to go hard. They love hard engaged team fighting compositions. They very rarely go away from that unless they're going for a protect the Team Maya kind of composition. They're definitely going hard, and they're going to lock in the Yasuo. And the Nautilus would be a fine piece to go in there for support as well.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Crafty.
Just add those knockups for Yasuo, as well as a lot of CC to help this BBB in his first time in the bot lane.
Yeah, and then you got the Nautilus can land those dredge lines just to hook the members of Indecision in. So definitely a hard engaged team comp here for Notice Me Senpai.
We do. Oh, I was just gonna say, Impressive Boy loves his hooks. They take away the Thresh. He takes
the Nautilus instead, the second best option. So now looking at just such a hard engage composition, honestly, Indecision's set up in a pretty good spot. They have lots of disengage with the Lulu. At least can peel for his carry as well. You know, Callista likes to kite as best as she can, and Braum just adding so much disengage. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Orianna pick up here in the mid lane or something of that nature, just something that can disengage, because you can't out hard engage the composition. You just can't. So
Lulu would fill that role in the mid lane, and
True.
then they could just...
And then what do you pick in the top lane, though? Then you're leaving yourself with really one damage source?
Like, you could go, Fiora, or like a Darius.
Darius is banned.
Never mind. A
Trundle. A Trundle, it is an option.
Hey, just throw down that pillar. That's pretty good disengage right there.
And there
and
it's
it is. Locked in.
Yeah, that looks like it will be going in the top lane.
Yeah.
This is not the first time that Similodon has played Trundle in the top lane.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time he did it, it came to pretty good success for the team. He was definitely not out of place, definitely doing what he needed to do, kind of more of a split push threat. Definitely able to hold his own in the top lane. It'll be interesting to see Hecarim and the Trundle go at it. But honestly, both heavy damage dealers. Hecarim can engage fights really well. Gragas can engage fights really well. Nautilus as well. I'm really scared, honestly. This is a little bit harder of a game to execute for Indecision. Just looking at these two comps, it'll be easy for Notice Me Senpai to say, go, 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 throw everything they have in Indecision. It'll be up to Indecision to really kite off this pressure.
Yeah, you know, with all the engagements on the side of Notice Me Senpai, we're going to maybe see a lot of weddings coming up here in the future. And on that note, we're going to take a short break here, but stick around because we've got a great game coming up.
Check this out.
Set, go!
Hey guys, welcome back. We got a game between Notice Me Senpaiii and Indecision. On the blue side, we've got Notice Me Senpaiii for game 1. Team Maya 70 coming from ADC all the way to the top lane, bringing in that arcade Hecarim. Henry in the jungle with Oktoberfest Gragas. Hannah Petrel bringing out the Yasuo in the mid lane. And the bot lane for Notice Me Senpaiii, we have 16 Bs and Impreza Boy with the Mafia Graves and the Abyssal Nautilus in the support role.
And on the red side, we got Similidon trolling us on his Trundle, and then DXA Edge on his Blood Moon Elise, the classic. Kelthice bringing in Lulu, and I'm a big tough guy pulling in his Callista, which was in the top 5 plays last week, and Weeblit on Braum.
Yeah, so we got a great game coming in here for game 1. Both, as we were saying in Picks and Bans, both very strong teams here. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what team can come out on top. And based on the team comps, we got a couple interesting team comps here. Who would you give the advantage to, Crafty?
I like the priority in the Lulu Elise a lot better than the Graves, so that's kind of pretty strong, with the Callista Braum also being like the strongest bot lane.
Yeah.
Really strong. Not the strongest bot lane, but strong potential if it can snowball a game pretty fast. So I'm going to give it to Indecision on that pick ban phase there.
And Silky, what do you think?
You know what? These are two classic compositions for both teams. Really, the both style. Henry getting caught out a little bit there, but these both compositions play to the styles of each team. Honestly, Indecision's comp is going to be a little bit harder to execute. It's a little bit smarter of a team comp. You need to pick the right places. You need to pick the right disengages. And then, of course, on Notice Me Senpaiii, there's only one light on their traffic lights, and that's the green light. Because they're going to be going in all the time. They love to do this. No surprises here with this composition. The only surprise with the role swap. How do you guys think that's going to go? Honestly, Team Maya, the biggest carry on this team. Now they're just trying to prove that maybe he's not, and that some of these other guys can shine, or
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
Really just an interesting choice, as we were saying in Picks and Bans. It's not like either Team Maya or BBBBB were underperforming at all in their roles. And even farther, it's not like Notice Me Senpaiii wasn't finding any success as a team. They had it. Their comp they were running, the synergy they had was successful. They were, I forget if they're 3rd or 4th, but they've, one of the top ranked teams in SKL. So it is interesting why this change came in. Maybe it has something to do with what the homework they did on Indecision. Similidon very strong in the top lane, definitely a carry. Maybe they just felt Team I would match up better with him skill-wise. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that could be a very good reason why. Maybe they think that Team I is the true carry and that they need him in the top lane now to take on Similidon, one of the big carries for Indecision. That is an interesting thought, to have in front of us here. But just a standard start for both teams. Looking like the double jungle on the side of Indecision, and Hecarim going to do a camp by himself and then going to teleport to the top lane. And Similidon will, of course, be joining him shortly. But this composition from Notice Me Senpaiii does have actually a pretty good chance at doing some damage against I'm a Big Tough Guy in this bot lane.
Yeah, you're right, Crafty. This bot lane, with the Callista Braum, as we were saying, one of the if you could ideally pick any bot lane, without bans or anything, well, maybe you go Mordekaiser first, but after that you might want to go Callista Braum, both perhaps the strongest champions at their positions, Mordekaiser notwithstanding. Actually, the entire team really, before they picked the Trundle, I was looking at the lineup of Indecision, and I was just thinking, like, this is, like, in this meta right now, this is just the most classic team comp you'll see. Like, the Callista Braum, you got a Lulu in there and Elise. It's just, like, all, like, the most picked champions in this meta.
Yeah, apart from the Trundle, just no surprises.
That threw it off.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been taking a lot of damage here in this bot lane, though.
Impreza Boy gets stunned up there. I'm a Big Tough Guy, just tossing spears left and right, but not going to be able to rend any of them, I believe. But do we... what?
Yeah, he did get the reset. He was able to get... He killed the creep with his rend, so he got the damage off on the creep and onto the bot lane, but there's a gank in the top lane.
DX Edge is coming for Team I, but Henry there as well. Similidon getting low here. DX Edge throws out the cocoon, but does not hit. Now Team Maya looking to get away. Henry doing what he can here. Flash comes out from Similidon, but the Ignite will pick up the kill, and DX Edge repels down onto Team Maya. Now the two junglers are going to go at it here. DX Edge and Henry dueling it out here. The Spider not going to be able to do her thing as Gragas steps on her. and flushes her down the toilet. That's a 2-for-1 for Notice Me Senpai.
Yeah, DXI Edge, they're going for the blind cocoon when they were setting up that gank. They were both chasing down Team Maya, and Team Maya was just waiting for Henry to come in. As soon as that cocoon missed, he was just going for a blind cocoon. He could have waited and held on to that a little bit longer, but unfortunately not going their way, and that's going to be a double kill for Henry to start this one off. Not the worst. If you want to give the kills over to anyone besides Impreza Boy, you'd probably want to give them to Henry. You don't want Team Maya getting ahead too far. You don't want Hannah Petrell definitely getting a double kill, so not the worst thing that could have happened there if that's going to be the outcome. Still got a kill over to DXI Edge, I believe, so you know what, they're still in this game. It's just a little bit of an advantage now on the top side of the map, and it's going to be a little bit tougher going forward for Indecision to bring this one back.
Yeah, and even though Team I didn't pick up any kills, he still did pick up 2 assists. Even though he did die, he got the second assist after he died. So not completely worthless for Team I, but DX Edge now coming down to the bot lane. Flash comes out from BBBB. Impreza Boy getting hit on here, looking to get the concussive blows to pop, but now BBBB's getting low. Impreza Boy doing what he can, throws out the flash, trying to body block for BBBB, but they will get away.
2 sums burned on the Graves, which is going to be very big, and I can see a return gank coming through for DX Edge very soon here.
Things are not going well in the top lane, as it looks like Henry's going to be diving onto this one, and Similidon is really low. And this is definitely going to be a kill for them. Team Maya is going to pick up that one pretty easily.
There it is.
Yeah. The trade just wasn't going well. Similidon actually got chunked down very low to about 100 HP before that dive even took place. So that just shows you the kind of lead now that Team Maya has over Similidon.
He's also level 6 to level 4, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely not good. They're sitting at a decent CS lead here, just maybe over 10, maybe 10 to 15 CS lead here for Team Maya over Similidon in the top lane. Relatively even around the rest of them. I guess in the mid lane, Hannah Petrell sitting at about approximately 10 over Kelthice as well. So with the 3 kills, they're sitting at about, and the CS leads are sitting at about almost a 2k gold lead already at about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, we're just seeing now what this Trundle pick's really going to be able to do for Indecision, and so far it's not been a lot.
No.
If you can't really successfully fight against the Hackram, I know you're a couple assists down. You have only 1 assist for you and 2 assists for the enemy top laner, but when you're getting beat that bad in a trade, he only had Ninja Tabby, and then there was a cloth armor on Similidon, and he was able just to pound him. Now Home Guard's picked up for Team Mai. He's going to get back to lane really easily, not going to need to use teleport anymore to get back to lane. He's going to be looking for the global pressure. Henry back in this top lane.
Similidon throws out the frozen domain here, try to give him that extra buff while inside of it, but Henry will just walk out.
Yeah, and now you're really seeing why maybe they put Team Maya in the top lane. They're putting a lot of focus there, and it's really working out for Notice Me Senpai.
Yeah, as we theorized, maybe that it was because they wanted to really pick on Similidon here to get Team Maya to match up against him. But on the other side of that pancake, you have to trust that BBBBB can move down to the ADC position and match up against I'm a Big Tough Guy, who certainly is no slouch either, as Similidon throws out Frozen Domain and his Pillar of Ice, but is just getting jumped here. Onslaught of Shadows comes out onto Similidon. Henry doing what he can here. Let's see what's going on, and Similidon goes down once again.
A little bit of a tent being set up here by Henry, and it's definitely paying off. That's a 2-0-2 jungle and a 2-1-2 top laner on the Hecarim for Team Maya 70. Now having the teleport available as well, could still make a play elsewhere on the map. He's getting absolutely huge, and the deficit in the bot lane even, 64 to 46 CS. BBB, we maybe thought he wouldn't be able to stack up in this bot lane, or we didn't really know, and honestly it's proving. If you're going to pick Graves, pretty straightforward ADC. It's not really tough to execute, especially with the Nautilus support. We're really seeing that these lanes are all paying off. 72 to 52 CS in the mid lane too, so honestly.
And already almost a 3,000 gold lead.
As BBBB is throwing damage now onto DXI Edge. He repels up and over Hand of Petrell. Sneaky.
Jukes!
Yeah, the jukes, the dips, and the dodges coming in for DXI Edge.
Not having flash available, I definitely thought he was a goner there. The collateral damage was available for BBB, but holding on to it, just waiting to see maybe if DXI Edge would flash. And then on the other side, Hannah Petrell, but just whoop, right over top. Perfect.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what when you're a spider, I guess you can do that.
Yes. I suppose. But just want to point again to Henry being able to really enable Team Maya in this one. Just constantly going top, and really they're Indecision not doing much about it. Smildon has totally dark up here, except for a couple wards just in the river, but that's not where Henry's been coming from. He's been coming over the wall into the river brush and then just going straight in. And it's really going to be up to DXI Edge to kind of match the kind of pressure that Henry's been able to put out so far.
Yeah, well, we saw DXI Edge actually come up initially as the Dredge Line lands on the I'm a Big Tough Guy. Now the bot lanes are going at it here. Double knock up there onto the Notice Me Senpai bot lane, but now I'm a Big Tough Guy's the one gets knocked up. Exhaust out onto BBBB. I'm a Big Tough Guy very low here, and he does go down to Impreza Boy. Will we be able to finish off the kill onto BBBB? No, he won't. The buckshot's coming out. The Dredge Line for the dub for Impreza Boy. That must have been at about max range there for Impreza Boy, but Henry coming back top lane. Frozen Domain goes down. Explosive Cast goes out as well. Similodon, Pillar of Ice, the trophy. Looks great on that skin. Is Similodon looking for the outplay here. The turret doing work for him, which actually took down Henry, but Onslaught of Shadows comes out, and he does finish off the kill here. As now we're in the mid lane. They're trading, but maybe they're just gonna,
A little bit of a careless play there by Henry. They could have waited for the wave of minions that was just about to come, but he just walks in, starts tanking immediately before he does even any damage to Similodon. So maybe just not enough respect to the kind of damage that they'd be able to put out. Not able to burst him down right away. Similodon now just having flash up, and obviously stealing the resistances due to Subjugate on the Trundle, able to steal some resistances as well, make Henry a little bit squishier, because it does take the resistances away, so he's able to go down in the tower faster. That's at least a 1-for-1 trade, not the worst of things.
Yeah, and I feel like it was just maybe a miscommunication. Like that was pretty failed by Henry, and it was pretty.
He just needed to wait.
Similodon got pretty lucky, and he should be 0-4-1 instead. He's 1-4-1.
Yeah, still not in the best of spots.
Not the best spot.
Yeah, and then in the bot lane just before that, we saw the big 2v2, right, and the double kill for Impreza Boy. Really,
not ideal.
Not ideal. It was actually a great play by Weeblet to stop the collateral damage using his Unbreakable. And then after that, it looked like things were going to go in Indecision's favor, but fighting in a big creep wave and just the sustained damage, and Impreza Boy sticking right on Big Tough Guy made it tough.
And Impreza
again.
And to be fair, Impreza
stops the Dredge Line again. The ult. The
Yeah.
Nautilus ult.
Yeah. Absolutely disgusting play. It looked like it was going to go into Indecision's favor, and just big plays. BBB able to stay alive there. Even missing the ult, winning that one, that was a little bit suspicious. But the Rend not able to do enough damage in the end.
I suppose. And Impreza Boy, he's doing well here, proving that even though he's not playing Thresh, he can still land his hooks regardless of the champion. He had the one for the engage there, as well as it started the fight and it ended the fight. As Team Maya actually going in onto DXI Edge here. Similodon just going to run away here. Team Maya pretty low, so maybe going to want to back off here. As I guess DXI Edge went in there for a gank but got killed. But now the Glacial Fissure comes out from Weeblet, but he goes down to BBBBB, and will I'm a Big Tough Guy be next. It looks like Team Maya just picked up the kill in the top lane as well. We got fights going on all over the place as Team Maya and Henry 2-0 DXI Edge and Similodon. As BBB finishes off I'm a Big Tough Guy. Impreza Boy does go down though, with I'm a Big Tough Guy picking up the kill from the grave.
Fights going on all over the place, and not much going in the favor of Indecision, as they are just 3 deaths there, 4 deaths for them, and they only got 1 kill out of it.
Things are actually going horrendously for Indecision in this early game. 13 minutes in, 11-3, 5-1-2 top lane Hecarim. Spooky stuff. This is not going to be good.
Lead.
As soon as he starts using these TP home guard plays, which he hasn't even done, he's not left the top half of the map. He hasn't left top lane. He's got all these kills like just on DXI Edge and just on Similodon. Imagine when he starts to group or roam and use his teleport elsewhere on the map. Then in the bot lane, things are already going bad for Indecision there. When Team Maya shows up, it's going to be even worse. Things are not going to get better for Indecision anytime soon. They definitely need to make some sort of play, get some sort of picks, smarter warding, smarter rotations, because they're just going to really have to use their smarts against this Senpaiii team.
And let me tell you, this as they're going in here, it's a bit of a 3v2, but Notice Me Senpai still taking the fight as I'm a Big Tough Guy shows up, and this probably, as Hannah Betrayal very low here, actually will not go down, and DXI Edge is the first one to go down. Team Maya shows up, and this could get scary. Kelthai's coming now as well, and Henry taking spears in his big gut, but maybe we'll just back off. And that really looked like a fight that was going to go in favor of Indecision. But as I was going to say, how much scarier Notice Me Senpai now is. You have Team Maya 70 on the Hecarim in the top lane has completed his Triforce. Hannah Patrell in the mid lane has completed the Static Shiv. And BBBBB on the Graves has completed his Infinity Edge. Whereas no one on... I guess Kel'Thais has a Morellonomicon, but for the most part... No?
Very
No,
cheap.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you did, but a very cheap item.
Yeah,
And,
but for the most part, they're really Notice Me Senpai is really leading in items here.
Yeah, huge power spike for Notice Me Senpai. The fight was going to go in Indecision's way, I feel, if DX Edge could have got out there alive, maybe, but the teleport coming in for Team Maya and the teleport not used by Smilodon there. Kel'Thai is just finding himself in a little bit of danger there, able to run away from that one. All the summoners now coming back up for both teams. I think things are going to start to get a little bit heated, and now looking towards this mid lane is Notice Me Senpai.
Yeah, if I was Indecision right now, I would not want to get into a team fight. Just would not go well for anyone. Really, at this point, they got to hope to maybe just catch someone out, I guess, or maybe... they do have... Similodon does have TP advantage right now, so that is something they could use to their advantage to get a good team fight with the numbers.
Yeah, they're just going to have to play a lot smarter, and this is what we said coming in. Their team comp is a lot harder to execute than Notice Me Senpai's. Notice Me Senpai, all they have to do is go in, use their ultimates, not too hard to use. Henry's maybe the hardest to use out of all of them. The rest of them, point and click. Team Maya going to be able to teleport home guards in there.
The Drench
Kel'Thai's
line
getting caught out.
lands on the Kel'Thais. The explosive cast was used by Henry. DX Edge repelling in onto Impreza Boy. Onslaught of Shadows comes out from Team Maya, picks up the kill onto Weeblit. Double kill for Team Maya as he takes down Kel'Thais as well, and that's a 3-for-0 for Notice Me Senpai. And just as we were saying, they need to play smarter, and if you ask me, I do not think that was a smart fight for Indecision to take.
Yeah, even under their own tower, it is very close to going down. You just got to give that one up, kind of regroup and try and get things together. I'm a big tough guy, not even there for that fight. He was bot lane farming that entire time.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to defend that turret that's got about a quarter HP left. And Team Maya just doing a little bit of taunting there, but maybe wanting to go back in.
Oh, looking for the 1v2 here, just runs past Similodon and does some damage on I'm a Big Tough Guy and walks right back out.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about this Trundle pick. Still coming back. It's haunting me right now.
Oh, wow.
As the last pick, you know that they're going to pick this kind of composition. I think there's better answers than the Trundle. I don't know about what these guys are scrimming with. Their practice might have gone really well with Trundle, and this might be just a bad case of snowball out of control by the other team. But I think there's better answers. You could put that Lulu top there. Not sure how that matchup goes with Hecarim, but I feel like it just seems out of place so far. Even though it got camped early, there was a lot of pressure by Henry. You just gotta wonder, but 7-1-2 Hecarim, things are looking a little bit scary.
3 spooky, 5 me.
Very spooky.
But what is there anything you can do at this point to even chip away, or do you just got to start thinking about the next game, or how do you handle this kind of situation with it only being 17 minutes in, down 10,000 gold?
Well, Notice Me Senpai's style is just to go at you at all times. So the way you beat that is you beat them early, and then they still don't know what to do, but they still go at you. But if they're not ahead, then going at you doesn't really work when you're running in then just dying. But this is just their style. They're going to go in every single time they can. They're just going to have to get outsmarted by Indecision. That's really the strength of this team, is being smarter. So far, hasn't really shown to be that case in the early game, kind of getting out-rotated and out-pressured in the early game, pretty much in every lane. It seemed like DXI Edge couldn't go to a single lane and have that much impact, because the lane was either already losing or already had been ganked by Henry.
Yeah, really just losing all over the place as another turret goes down. That's 5 turrets to 1 now for Notice Me Senpai. However, Indecision, they're starting to work their way back into this as Team Maya just solo killed Weeblit. Now looking to take out Similodon, looking for the 1v2 here. The Frozen Domain is down. Similodon's going to want to fight inside of that. Team Maya very low here. I don't know if he's going to be able to complete this.
He has his ult up.
Has the ult up. Not going to use it yet. Frozen Domain comes out. Henry there as well. Explosive Cast comes out. Flash from Similodon, and it looks like he actually will get away here with the help from Lulu.
Missed explosive cast there by Henry, but there's a lot of fighting, and this DX Edge is going to go down.
Yeah, DX Edge is in his own base here, being caught out as Weeblit and I'm a Big Tough Guy now chasing the rest of the members of Notice Me Senpai out of the base, as they did pick up a inhibitor turret there in the bot lane.
Yeah, just kind of getting out-muscled here, pretty much every facet, every lane, everywhere. Every time we look at a different part of the map, it seems like Notice Me Senpai is taking it to Indecision, but there's a fight here.
Glacial Fissure comes out from Weeblit as Hannah Patrell was in there looking for the 1v4 and does get killed as the rest of his team the rest of his team just kind of walked out. Hannah Patrol ran into the team there, and the rest of his team said, maybe we won't take this fight.
Yeah, totally worth, because there's going to be an inhibitor down in this top lane, and it looks like they're going to be able to disengage from this one. You're not going to catch a Hecarim. Henry might be the sacrificial lamb here. Definitely going to go down. They're going to use Fate's Call on him. I don't know if that was necessary, but just in case the flash came out, some spicy play could have came out from Henry, but not to be the case. Explosive Cask was already up, so he could have, and you'd never know if he had flash, so throwing the Fate's Call in front of Henry isn't the worst play there. It's just a safe play. Explosive Cask just now up. It wasn't up before. Flash a couple seconds away too. So safe play. Gonna try and chip away at this gold lead, but now 12k.
I'll tell you right now, Gragas is a big old sacrificial lamb. That'll
Maybe not a lamb. Maybe like an elephant.
Sacrificial. Yeah, that'll feed the family for a month.
Not, you know what? But he's a nice guy though, so we don't want to make it feel like we're making fun of Gragas or anything.
Oh no,
he's a good guy, you know.
Santa. He's Santa.
Be comfortable in your own skin, Gragas. You do you.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we see Indecision. They're coming back with a couple of their own items. We see the Frozen Heart completed for Trundle in the top lane. Hopefully we'll stop dying so quickly with the help of that. And then I'm a big tough guy completing the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, the home guard's coming out for a lot of members now on Indecision. Actually, only one so far, but we expect that to be a trend across the board. Started by Kelthice now, but they're going to want to defend.
But will
it
be a worrying trend?
A worrying trend? You know what? This game has already been a worrying trend for Indecision. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot closer than this. Even with just looking at the team comps, like it was harder to execute comp for Indecision, but they could have done it, and they could have, warded up the map. Something they're very good at is getting a lot of vision, and they didn't do it. There was a camp in the top lane, and you know what? It's okay though. So it's looking rough. I had a lot of hope here for Indecision to make this one a little bit closer, but they still had a chance to chip away.
You have mentioned before how as Team I popping some masteries for the Hecarim, the BM there. As you said, Indecision, they are known for they're a smart team. They have knowledge of the game, so I think they definitely will bounce back after this game. As Smilodon throwing out all of his abilities here, doing what they can as DX Edge goes down. Weeblet might be next, or maybe Smilodon. Someone's going to be next. If he goes down here, BBB picking up the kill. Henry gets knocked up by the Glacial Fissure, but it's the double for BBB. Kelthice and I'm a big tough guy, the only two left, and I'm a big tough guy will be next to go unless he makes it to the fountain, which he will. They'll take down the inhibitor with death times are about 20 seconds. The EDG flare pop there for Henry, popping it consistently there as Kelthice says good night, and he goes down.
Hannah Patrol says good night.
Yeah.
It's bedtime.
Yeah.
Yikes! Yeah.
Bedtime.
Put him to bed. As I was sorry, I lost track of my train of thought there. What I was saying is Indecision. I don't think we need to worry about them not bouncing back after this game. They're a smart team. They're gonna be able to. I think they're gonna
mess.
Yeah, just kill the Nexus. Notice me, Senpai, please. Notice the Nexus, not the Senpai. Go ahead, Silky.
Yeah, I think that Indecision are wishing it was morning right now. They just want this one to be over. They got a chance to redeem themselves next game, but this one, a stomp. Yeah, Crafty making those noises, the appropriate sound effects to this game. It ended up being a 14.5k gold lead for Notice Me Senpai by the end of this one. 22 kills to 7. And that's a victory screen.
22 kills in 22 minutes.
22 kills in 22 minutes. Near perfect. They had their pace, and they set it early, and they just kept to it. Yeah. And honestly...
44 gold, 44k gold. That's 22 kills, 22 minutes. You add that together, that's 44. Wow. Illuminati? Half-Life 3 confirmed?
Absolutely. You know what?
Whoa.
It would be tough to decide who the MVP was for... Notice Me Senpai, because every lane kind of got rolling. Honestly, mid lane was actually stagnant for like a long time. Even though all these kills were going on, it was like 0-0-1 or something like that.
Hannah Patrol didn't even have a great scoreline. He was only 1
and 2 and 6. He only got those assists like near the end, getting those Yasuo also the last breaths in. But I'm going to give the MVP of this game to Henry. Honestly, enabling Team Maya, setting up that little camp.
I would agree.
Setting up that tent.
Except for that failed dive. Other than that, he played a really stellar game.
Absolutely. Got Hecarim ahead early. Came back, made sure that he kept getting kills, kept feeding him, He He was looking hungry, so he said, "Here you go, buddy. Here's some troll meat for you."
Yeah, it was hungry horses tonight instead of hippos.
But we still have one more game, so maybe there'll be an MVP on the other side. We could even it up. Indecision looking to tie it up. And we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with game number 2.